in this series, we're going to address deep cervical extensors, our intrinsic cervical extensor muscles. So we're going to be doing exercises lying down on our stomach and then on hands and knees. The compensation that I frequently see is that when the deep extensors aren't kicking in, the intrinsics, the extrinsic extensors are kicking in. And as a result, we end up, when we look up, we end up reversing our curvature in our neck, and we end up using way too much work in the front of our neck, and we end up using way too much in the back of our neck and the shoulders. So the first part that we're going to start is lying down on our stomach with arms in front of the forehead. From here, I want you to gently roll your chin down and lift your head. So we're lengthening into the long spine in the back of our neck. And then maintaining that gentle chin nod, you're going to lower your head down and relax. So again, nod the chin, lift the head up, hold it. The compensation here could be this. You're losing that upper cervical extension position. So then we're going to reset, nod the chin, lifting our head up, holding it, and then lower back down. Exercise number 2 is to add rotation. So we're lifting our head up, maintaining gentle chin nod, and then we're going to rotate our neck from side to side. A good visual is to pretend as if you have a pole going between both ears, and you are rotating around that axis. So I'm maintaining slight chin nod, I'm maintaining long neck, and I'm moving my head side to side and coming back in. Once you have this position figured out, we're going to progress to add, of course, load. So progression number 1 is we're lifting our head up, and we're going to lift one arm up with it and then lower back down. So we repeat about 10 or so on one side and then switching to the other side. What's beautiful about this motion is that we're keeping our shoulder blade in upward scapular rotation, putting our upper trap and levator on slack, and that really allows us to activate and strengthen our deep intrinsic extensors of our spine. Progression number 2, we lift up, we hold it, we're going to extend that arm, flex it, and lower back down. Again, lift, extend, bring it back, and lower back down. Progression number 3, we're going to add rotation of our neck as that arm extends, and then lower. All while maintaining that upper cervical position as we're moving through this range of motion. Once you do it on one side, repeat it on the other side. And the final progression is lifting both arms up and lowering back down. Lifting both arms up, focusing on keeping good shoulder position, not allowing that excessive shrug to happen, and lower back down. From here, we're going to take this work on hands and knees. So this might be a little bit more challenging because it's hard to know where your body's in space. So first, I want you to open your wrist, open your fingertips wide, press firmly into the floor so that your shoulder blades move away from each other. Lumbar spine is in neutral with a small curve. Our thoracic spine is engaged. We're pulling our ribs under, so we have a little curve in our thoracic spine. Now we're going to work on our neck. So deep cervical flexors as we nod the chin, so rolling our chin down, and we're going to look down and then starting to look up, releasing the chin nod at the top. So I want you to move through small range of motion here. meaning you're moving through a third of the range of motion, mid-range. You're staying away from the end range, meaning I don't want you to go all the way down and then all the way up, as this may feel uncomfortable, and some of the compensatory extrinsic muscles will kick in. So to really work on our deep neck extensors and flexors, but mostly extensors because we're anti-gravity, you're going to roll your chin down and then gently allow it to open. Starting with rolling our chin down and then back up. Once this feels good, you can increase that range of motion. Nod the chin, starting to lift, releasing the chin nod at the very top. And then starting with the chin nod, repeating this sequence. Now we're coming back to the neutral position, looking straight down. Nice long neck at the back, gentle chin nod. And we're going to start rotating here side to side. Again, rotating about the vertical axis, as if there's a pole between the ears, and we're rotating around that axis. And coming back. Now, next exercise is maintaining this chin nod. We're just going to use the arms to press our torso back. So this is relative shoulder flexion. It's a very gentle exercise, but sometimes I see when people do this, they're lifting their head up subconsciously without realizing it. And that usually means tight levator scapula that pulls our neck up because we're moving into that overhead shoulder flexion. So we want to maintain that good upper cervical position as we move through this chin nod combined with shoulder flexion. Once you feel good about all these variations, our progressions are to add load. Progression number 1, we're maintaining the chin nod and we're starting to lift one arm up and the other. The key is to feel work in the back of that shoulder blade. Now we're going to start moving arm out to the side, adding cervical rotation. Just like we did earlier on our stomach. Again, you're rotating around that vertical axis. Movement should feel effortless. And side to side. Good. And those are great ways to work on strength as well as endurance of our deep neck extensors, those little intrinsic muscles that help stabilize segmentally our cervical spine and keep our head in a very neutral position so that as we function through the day, we rotate, we reach, we do sports, we do household chores, we don't feel that unnecessary tension in our neck and shoulders that builds up over time because our head isn't in the optimal position on top of our neck.